Up next on Lion TV, we have discography on Usher, Curtis Stevens reporting Mr. McGar's journey to state representative,
and me, Connor Love, with all of your weather updates. All that and more, Lion TV starts now.
Good morning, Searcy High. Welcome back to the first show of Lion TV for the second semester. I'm Linus Bowman.
And I'm Phoenix Pruitt. I hope everyone had a great and exciting winter break. Let's get this semester started right off with some morning announcements.
Any student who would like to be on the track team this season needs to pick up a form in the office or in Coach McCoy's room.
The United Way needs student volunteers for stuffed stockings for kids in need. They'll be here in the CTM room during Thursday's 0 hour. Students can sign up through RTI Scheduler. Spread the word, better yet, come help.
Places note upon turning 16 years old, a second meningitis shot is required. Please see the nurse for more information.
Congratulations to Linus Bowman and Kat Bremen, who received word last night that they are finalists in the 2023-24 Arkansas Young Playwrights Competition for original one-act plays they each wrote and submitted. The final competition will take place on Saturday, April 13th at Lake Hamilton High School. Congratulations again, Linus. Pretty impressive stuff.
Thanks, Phoenix. Really appreciate it.
Anytime. Hey, have you ever wondered what some of our teachers do outside of the classroom?
Actually, Curtis Stevens has a story on just that about one of our very own teachers at SHS and how they helped out in their own community.
Many teachers wish and do help out in the community. Some have goals they want to accomplish outside of school. One such example is Mr. McGar, who is currently running for state representative for Searcy's district.
My motivation for running is to be a voice for the people and to give a voice that actually listens to the people and the concerns of the constituents here in Searcy.
And Mr. McGar is a very passionate man, and I think it's really, really cool. I think it's also going to get some of the kids here interested in state politics. I think it's really cool.
One of McGar's most contested topics is the LEARNS Act, one of his main reasons for running.
The LEARNS Act was an omnibus bill that overhauled a lot of things related to education, a lot of how funding is dealt with. It gave raises to teachers, including imposing a 75-hour community service requirement for high school graduation.
I'm very anti-LEARNS Act. I think it was pushed through. I think there's a lot in it that is very, very flawed.
One of the difficulties that comes with this choice is balancing between school and running for office.
I keep school stuff at school. I don't do anything politics related during the school day. As soon as I get home, if I've finished all my work for my classes, all the preparation, then it's going into campaign mode, either researching the issues or working on the online presence of my campaign right now.
I know here in Arkansas, our legislators are part-time. I really don't know how he would be able to juggle both. Both are really demanding.
Even with all of these factors and the balancing thereof, one thing will remain the most important.
Family obviously takes a huge priority, so anything that they need, that comes first and foremost. Often I'll be staying up late in the evenings working on the campaign stuff, but it is a challenge to balance work, campaigning and family, but it's something that I'm up for the challenge of figuring out how to make it work.
Politics, schools, and family can be a very daring task for one man. He seems to be doing great at it though, and we wish Mr. McGar a great campaign and hope he is elected. Now back to the news desk.
Thanks, Curtis. I didn't know that about Mr. McGar. It's cool to see the things he does, not just at our school, but in our community as well.
I agree. Now I think it's time for some local news. 4 people from an Arkansas family were publicly identified Tuesday as the victims of a fatal house explosion in Michigan over the weekend. Authorities said the explosion Saturday was likely caused by flammable fuel in the air and not a result of foul play. The dead were identified as Hope Bragg, 51, husband Don Bragg, 53, and their children Kenneth Bragg, 22, and Elizabeth Bragg, 19, all from Monticello, Arkansas.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas Wednesday to seek governance reforms. part of a plan to rally the region behind a post-war vision for Gaza that includes concrete steps towards a Palestinian state. Blinken said he had secured commitments from multiple countries in the region to assist with rebuilding and governing Gaza after the war against Hamas, but only if there is a pathway to a Palestinian state. Hundreds of people have been killed in recent days as the Israeli offensive's focus shifts to the southern city of Khan Yunis and built up refugee camps in the central Gaza. The entire population of 2.3 million people is also in a food crisis, with 576,000 people at a catastrophic or starvation levels.
Dozens of women say Jeffrey Epstein sexually abused them at his homes in New York, Florida, the Virgin Islands, and New Mexico. The documents released this month relate to a 2015 defamation lawsuit that Giffer filed against Maxwell and was settled in 2017. Most of the court file has been public for years, but public interest in the documents soared after a judge ordered that some sealed sections must be fully released. Much of the lawsuit revolved around the truthfulness of Giffer's claims that Epstein had flown her around the world for sexual encounters with billionaires, politicians, royals, and heads of state. She initially kept the names of those men secret, but in a 2014 legal filing, she said her abusers included Prince Andrew, other royal figures whose names she didn't know, New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, the head of hotel chain Noted Academics, former U.S. Senator George Mitchell, French modeling scout Jean-Luc Brunel, billionaire Glenn Dubin, and law professor Alain Dershowitz, who had represented Epstein. All of the men named by Giffer denied her allegations.
Even though winter break is over, I still really want some snow. It's been forever since I've seen Cersei covered in white. Do you know if we're going to get any soon, Phoenix?
Sorry, Linus, I don't, but I do know that Connor has us all filled in with the weather updates. Let's check in with him to see if we'll be getting that snow that you want so badly.
Good morning, Cersei. My name is Connor Love, and I'm here for your weather updates. So today we'll be getting showers with a high of 53 degrees. The rain, as you can see, is 99% chance. The wind will blow at 25 miles per hour west, 74% humidity, and the sun will rise at 7:15 on to tonight. So we have clear skies tonight with an Arctic cold temperature of 22 degrees, a 2% chance of snow. The winds will blow west at 14 miles per hour, 74% humidity, and the sun will set at 5:15. On to the almanac. The average temperatures, the high is 48 and the low is 30. The monthly average of precipitation is 3.58 inches, and the month to date is 1.69 inches. Now on to the 5cast. Saturday, the high will be 45 degrees with a low of 15 degrees with a 2% chance of rain. Sunday, we have a 76% chance of snow with a high of 26 degrees and a low of 11. On Monday, the high will be 21 and the low will be 3 degrees with a 42% chance of snow. Tuesday, the high will be 20 degrees and the low will be 2 degrees with a 4% chance of rain. And Wednesday, will be partly cloudy with a high of 31, a low of 19, and a 5% chance of rain. So that does mean you will be getting that snow you want, Linus.
It's about time.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I wish it was time for? Lunch. I didn't eat anything for breakfast and I'm starving. You know what we're having for lunch today, Linus?
I do. Today for lunch we'll be having beef and bean chili, classic cheese pizza, classic cheeseburger, chicken and cheese crispito, apple, and milk.
That sounds absolutely delicious. I can't wait to dig in a couple of hours.
Me too. Make sure to thank all of our lunch ladies for all the amazing work they do behind the scenes to give us lunches each and every school day.
Trust me, I will. Hey Linus, this is a little random, but what's your favorite Super Bowl halftime performance? Mine has to be the one with Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem.
That's a tough one, but I might have to go with Rihanna's from last year. Speaking of Super Bowl halftimes, Connor and Eric have a new episode of Discography where they go over an artist who will be this year's Super Bowl halftime performer.
Good morning, Cersei High. I'm Eric Crowley.
And I'm Connor Love.
And welcome to the 6th episode of Discography.
This episode, we will be talking about one of the most famous R&B singers of the early 2000s and the 2010s, and that is Usher.
Usher joined the local youth church choir in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where he was 9 years old. There, his grandmother discovered his ability to sing, although it was not until Usher joined a singing group that she considered he could sing professionally.
At age 10, Usher joined an R&B local quintet called The New Beginnings, which was organized by local music promoter Daryl Wheeler. Usher recorded 10 songs with the group in 1991, and the ensuing album, New Beginning, featuring Usher Raymond IV, was only made available regional and by mail order.
Now on to albums. In 1994, he released his self-titled album, Usher, which featured songs like Crazy, The Many Ways, Think of You, I'll Show You Love, and I'll Make It Right.
Few years later, he would go on to release My Way, with a lot of tunes such as You Make Me Wanna, One Day You'll Be Mine, I Will, Just Like Me, and Slow Jam.
In 2001, he released 8701, which features You Remind Me, U-Turn, Without You, You Got It Bad, and You Don't Have to Call.
That is a lot of views if you ask me, don't you?
That's right.
But anyways, in 2004, he went on to release what is considered the highest selling album he has ever released, and that would be Confessions.
Confessions sold over 15 million copies worldwide. That's how you know it sold so high. Confessions featured songs like Throwback, Burn, Do It To Me, Yeah, and Confessions, which has 2 parts.
I got a chick on the side with a crib and a ride. I've been telling you so many lies, ain't none good, it's all bad.
Since then, 4 more albums have been released, those being Here I Stand, Raymond v. Raymond, Looking for Myself, and Hard to Love.
He is going to come out with a new album in 2024, titled Coming Home. Now there's one thing I really want to know.
What is that?
What do the students of SHS think of Usher?
Beats me, but let's go and ask him.
What is your favorite Usher song?
Yeah.
It would probably have to be DJ God Has Fallen in Love.
Well, that's all the time we got for you today, Cersei.
Let us know which artist we should talk about next. Signing off, I'm Connor Love.
And I'm Eric Crowley, now sending it back to our anchors at the news desk. Peace out.
Thanks, Connor and Eric. I can't wait to hear Usher sing "Yeah" at the Super Bowl this year.
Me too, Linus. While we're on the topic of the Super Bowl, I heard Jordan Jones has some information on the NFL playoffs and all other sports updates.
What's up, Cersei? I'm Jordan Jones. Let's get right into these sports updates. In local sports, the boys and girls basketball teams played in the BB Classic tournament over the break, where the boys started off in a close game against Greenbrier, where they would take their first loss with the score being 41-43. The boys team would then play 2 more games where they would bounce back with victories against White County Central with the score of 74-43 and Pulaski Academy with the score being 75-58. The boys would then start conference play where they go against Paragould at home, where they would make a comeback to win with the score being 54-50, while their next conference game was on the road against West Memphis, where they would lose 39-46. The boys' record now sits at 8-9 and 1-1 in conference play. The girls' team would make a terrific run during the tournament to start off with a win against Brooklyn in a close score with the score being 38-35, then running into BB where they would get their second win with the score being 53-31, and finally to win the tournament, the girls would have to pull out all the stops against Nettleton where they would win a hard-fought game with a close score of 46-43. The girls would then play at home against Paragould where they would win 57-28 to start off conference play, and then go on the road for their second conference game where the girls would play against West Memphis where they would lose 44-40, making their overall record now 13-4 and 1-1 in conference as well. On December 16th, the Harding Bisons took to McKinney, Texas, where they played Colorado School of Mines in the NCAA Division II National Championship game. Both teams went undefeated, but the Bisons came out victorious with a score of 34-7, securing the first NCAA National Championship to win in program history with a perfect 15-0 record in their season. Harding's offense rushed for 502 yards and 5 touchdowns. With the rushing total, Harding became the first team in history of college football to rush over 6,000 yards in the season. Senior defensive end Nathaniel Wallace in Great American Conference Super Region 3 Defensive Player of the Year had 2 sacks. He finished the season with an average of 10.5 tackles for loss, including 9 sacks. After leading the Bisons through their undefeated season and their first national championship win, head coach Paul Simmons was named GAC's National Coach of the Year. Moving on to national sports, the College Football Playoff National Championship game between the Michigan Wolverines and the Washington Huskies took place Monday, while the Wolverines came out on top with a score of 34-13. This would grant Michigan their first national title since 1997 and the 10th overall NCAA football crown for the winningest program in college football history. Michigan rushed for 303 yards and 4 touchdowns as a team in handing Washington their first loss of the season. In the battle of the nation's last 2 undefeated teams, Michigan got started scoring early when the Wolverines running back Devon Edwards broke out for a 41-yard rushing touchdown on the game's first drive. Edwards doubled the Wolverines' score on offensive drive for busting out a 46-yard touchdown run to be ahead in 14-3 in the first quarter. University of Alabama football head coach Nick Saban announced his retirement Wednesday night, turning a long inevitability into reality, sending shockwaves throughout the college football world. This ends arguably the greatest run in college football history. A 27-20 overtime loss to Michigan in the Rose Bowl semifinal was ultimately Saban's last act as a college football coach, just over a week before handing the task of replacing him to athletic director Greg Byrne. Winning 80.6% of his games and 6 of his 7 national titles, Saban placed his name among the greatest of all time. In the NFL, the playoffs are upon us, although there will be some familiar faces in the playoffs this year, like the 49ers, Chiefs, and Cowboys. There will also be some new blood. Of the 4 teams in NFL history that have never been to the Super Bowl, 3 of them, and being Houston, Cleveland, and Detroit, are in the playoffs as well. Unfortunately for the Browns and Texans, they will be facing off one each other, which means one of those teams will be going home after the first round. As for the Detroit Lions, they will be hosting their first playoff game in 30 years, and in a twist, they will be facing someone very familiar in Matthew Stafford. With Jared Goff starting off for the Lions, the game between Los Angeles and Detroit will mark the first time in playoff history where both starting quarterbacks are facing their former team. Head coach Bill Belichick of the New England Patriots parted ways yesterday after a remarkable 24 seasons together, ending an unmatched run in the NFL history that included 6 Super Bowl titles, league sources told ESPN. The Patriots will now embark on their first head coach search in a quarter century. Patriots linebackers coach Jerry Mayo, whom the team signed a contract extension in the offseason, and Kraft has been identified as a rising head coach candidate. Projects to be if not the leading candidate for the job, sources said. Mayo played for the Patriots from 2008 to 2014 and has been an assistant under Belichick since 2019. Well, that wraps up all the sports updates I have for you today, Cersei. Now back to Linus and Phoenix at the news desk.
Thanks, Jordan. Well, that looks like all the time we've got for you this week, Cersei. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Cersei High Line TV.
And to follow us on X at Lion TV, Instagram at Cersei Lion TV, and on Facebook at Cersei High Lion TV. Signing off, I'm Linus Bowman.
And I'm Phoenix Pruitt. We hope everyone had a great first week of the second semester, and we hope everyone has a safe and happy 3-day weekend.